winner, has been winning awards back to back, but he's here because he's produced the latest documentary now. Good morning.
Exactly. Good
you're
morning,
looking good
Roland.
and you're great. What shade of color is this?
I have no idea. I think it's navy.
Navy.
Is it
Navy
navy?
blue.
Navy blue? No, that's not navy blue.
Oh,
Is it blue
boy.
black?
Oh.
It's navy.
It looks like dark green blue, navy blue.
It's navy.
Navy.
It's navy.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Is there an
morning,
app to
Roland.
be able to measure colors?
I have no idea.
They have Shazam to look at music.
That's what- yes.
And then they have others for lyrics and even identify
I think you
others
just
as well.
need a special eye.
Yeah.
I just see the primary colors like red, gold, red,
Yeah.
yellow, green,
Yeah.
blue,
Yeah.
you know, violet. I struggle with the peaches and the fuchsia.
That's what
and
they
the-
call colorblind.
I'm not colorblind.
No. But I worked with somebody who was colorblind.
Yes.
Okay.
He will see like mauve or blue and say that it's something else.
Yes,
I'm telling
yes,
you, I
yes.
never believed that until I worked
Yes,
with him.
yes.
Yeah.
I know someone who's colorblind
And
too.
himself, he never knew. He would argue, and he was a very
Yeah.
strong fellow as well.
Yeah.
true.
But
But,
anyway,
Godwin,
that is
welcome.
the ability to
Thank
spot
you.
fancy
You're
colors.
premiering your documentary this evening.
Yes, at
Stolen
9 p.m.
Innocence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, and you know, every time Godwin produces a documentary, he blows all of our minds.
Yeah.
And I should tell you, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, that what I love about Godwin's documentaries is the fact that it's not just human interest. It doesn't just show us something that's happening that we otherwise were not aware of. It will move you emotionally, no matter who you are.
Now being dramatic.
Sometimes, no, that's not being dramatic, but sometimes I struggle through even the promos because it just evokes emotions sometimes in me that I didn't know were there.
Hey, now.
And I don't think I'm alone when I say this. So
Well, that's
Godwin
true.
is here with another
in
big
many
one.
respects, that's true.
Yes.
Especially the report he did on the immigration officer who got bent.
Oh, God.
watched
I mean,
it.
you are just looking at the
God.
empty land only with some chairs and
God.
things. And then Godwin was being dramatic.
And his
It's
language.
very emotional.
I have to ask you, Godwin. I mean, we
Yes.
haven't started talking
Yes,
about the
yes.
docu yet, but your language. I mean, have you ever been a poet? Are you?
No, so I studied literature in senior high school.
Right.
So that was where I picked up that style of writing.
Right.
And even before I hit the ground to get the report done, I already have a plan. So whilst I'm on my way, I start to script how I want to tell it. Sometimes you get there and then it's totally different and you would
Yeah,
have
that can
to,
happen.
twist the words. But most often you go and it's what you've already pictured due to the experience I've had in reporting. So once I get there and then I see how the situation looks like, put a camera in front of me and then I start to speak. So
Well,
that's how I do it.
Your literature teacher in school, you need to give him a call and tell him, well, thank you, because what I appreciate about your documentaries, in addition to the pictures and the story, is the storytelling.
Yeah.
Because storytelling is a very powerful tool
It
to
is.
draw attention to important
It is.
social issues. And the way you do it,
Thank
you deserve all the accolades and all the awards
Including-
that have come and soon to come.
Including
Thank you so
cash
much.
out.
Including cash out.
Yes,
you know what?
that's
Today
very-
we should
that's
give
very
him one of our draws. One of our draws. This morning, if you haven't dialed *439#, well, you are right on time. Every weekday on TV3NewDay, we give you cash on the show because we appreciate you, our most cherished viewer. All you have to do is dial *439#, follow the prompts, and win. It's as simple as that. So dial *439#, select option 2 for TV3. Today, Roland, how much do we have? 10,000 Ghana cedis?
Certainly.
Would you
Going
want to increase it,
10
Roland?
respective.
Do you want to increase it a little bit?
I
Or
don't
we
have
should
the
keep it at
powers. I don't
10,000
have
for
the
now.
right.
All right. We've got, okay, all right. Roland
Radio
says we are going to
Entertainment,
give
they
us
do that.
bonuses, all right? So we've got 10,000 cedis. We're giving it to 10 of you. 10,000, 10 million. We're giving it to 10 of you. Is 10,000 10 million old cedis? Or it's more than that? Never mind. 100 million.
100 million,
100
yes.
million
Gen
old
Z.
cedis.
Gen Z people. Are you even a Gen Z now?
I'm not Gen
she's
Z.
not.
I was born in 1988.
No, relax fast.
Yes, I'm not Gen Z. I'm a millennial.
Don't be creating problems here and panic, so that we, the
All right.
grandfathers, will be having problems.
Wait, were you born?
And so
Roland,
certainly,
Roland, let me share where you born.
we have many other related subjects to talk about, and so we'll bring you from the studios of 3FM 92.7, streaming live as always across social media, Facebook, etc. Johnny's by Johnny Beresford Hughes, the bona fide genius, and then of course we'll bring you some discussions when it comes to unrelated matters. With the big issues, and it's the day for the Zatuas as well as the Solomonites. So we'll be having them in the studio. And for all those who tend to watch us, please stick and stay. We have some great, interesting discussion, whether it's the Auditor General's report on expenditures, especially the losses from 8 billion the last year before the 2024 financial year. It's increased to 18 billion. But, you know, we always have explanations for that. It was an election year, so sometimes every election year you see that it goes up. We'd been hovering around the 12 billion, and then we decided to go. So please make sure you watch us. Dr. Juliet Yaira Tenge of the Ghana Military Academy, good morning to you. Randa Shaw, the rest of the family, James, Dryer, Drain, Chairman Godwin, Tamaklu, Chairman Prosper, all those who tend to watch us as well, whether it's also Zealous Dwayne in the UK, Money New Money, and the rest of the team as well. We are grateful that you've joined us this morning. This morning's segment is a very simple task, just to interact with Godwin, look at the premiere of Stolen Innocence, his latest emotional, emotive, revealing documentary is up next.
Ya, also not her real name, another victim of the same teacher's misconduct. She appeared frustrated and exhausted, eager to complete junior high school and escape the situation.
Na for no be teacher ni wo school mo ma tini asimi so tama school na mo mani nje tini self pity form to say me jai na me so me jai me do form to dey me ko so a ma ko na me wie pity form to say pon a obi akọ se mo kwa de me ntwen ada so ni mo nkom so nkom ba ya say me ka se ngo twen ni me da me kwa na me say me de minimo na ma fele.
And that's an excerpt from Stolen Innocence, which will premiere tonight at 9 p.m. And it's produced, written, directed by Godwin Asideba. He's here with us. Godwin.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us
It's
about
good to be
Stolen
here.
Innocence.
Right. It's basically a story about teachers in a school in the eastern region in Achimasafu who are trying to deceive these girls and have sex with them. When I was doing the investigation, it was really hard for these girls to come out and speak to the issue. So most of them who have had the experience with the teachers wouldn't even want to speak at all. So most of the girls, the one that just spoke, for instance, mentioned that the teacher started making advances towards her from junior high school 1, finally to 3. And each time the teacher comes to the classroom, you know, he favors some of the girls who give into the advances. For her, she's been maltreated in the class. And the time I was speaking with her, she had a sore that was still healing.
A sore?
Yes, around her arm. And she mentioned the teacher had to beat her in the class because she couldn't answer a question. And she's not the only one who goes through such experiences. There are quite a lot of girls who also experience that. And that is because they all don't give in to the teacher. They've also realized that some of the girls who go ahead to do it with the teachers are always being pardoned if they are unable to answer questions in the classroom. It's not the only situation that happens in the community, in the school. You go to the community itself and then you find elderly people who are equally impregnating girls as young as 13, 14, 15. There was a girl that I spoke to who was 16, had a 9-month-old baby and was still pregnant, heavily pregnant. So it's more like a practice in...
Pregnant by who?
By an elderly man in the community who actually didn't take responsibility when the mother of the girl approached the man.
And the same person impregnated her again, or a different man?
No, a different man.
Oh boy.
A different man. So it's more like a norm in the community, and it wasn't a story that I was targeting. So I was doing a report on illegal mining, and then I realized most of the young girls were pregnant. So I started asking questions, and I did my investigations, and I realized that it was just a sad story that I needed to tell. I just want the community to get some sort of attention and education so that practice can stop. Because I spoke to most of the residents and community members, even the elderly, and they made mention of the fact that it's been something that they've discussed with the chiefs, they involved the members of the education service, but nothing seemed to happen there. And most of the people, including teachers and elderly men, are just misbehaving, having sex with young girls. They get pregnant and they don't take responsibility. They leave everything to their mothers or the girls. There was this girl who was 18. She has 2 children, and now she would have to fetch water for people in the community just to earn 20, 30 cedis in a day to feed herself and then her children. So it's just a lot of issues happening in the community, and I'm just hoping that it will get the necessary attention that it needs for the practice to come to an end in the community.
That's terrible.
Did
you speak to any of the men?
Yes, so I approached one of the teachers. I mean, I had to do that in an investigative way because he wouldn't speak to me when he realized that I am capturing. But he denied. He denied he didn't do it, and I had to go back to the parents of the girl. You know, before the act happens, they have conversations on WhatsApp, voice notes are being sent. There are instances where teachers will request nude photos from the girls, which they also do. So there was a mother who actually realized that one of her girls was having such conversations with the teacher. She kept on asking the girl why such a conversation would be going on between her and then her teacher. But, you know, the girl didn't open up until the mother grabbed the phone and realized that they had some sort of conversation that shouldn't be appropriate. And she reported the case to the Achimasafo police station. Unfortunately, nothing was done about the situation. And the teacher came to the house to beg. And the mother couldn't really do anything because she mentioned that the teacher was crying. A head teacher of the school actually also came to the house as well.
Cry.
Yes.
After asking a little girl to send naked pictures of herself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that particular teacher, a lot of the girls mentioned...
Does he still work at the school?
He does.
After the headmaster came to beg?
Yes.
He retained the teacher to keep teaching young girls?
He's still there. He's still there in the school. So I'm just hoping that something should be done immediately about the situation. I mean, this is a story that could put the teacher into so much trouble, but I am looking at how education awareness can be sent to that part of the eastern region so that they can bring all of this, you know, should I say legal practice to an end? It's just so sad because imagine
they
this
are
girl.
Underage.
Yes, they are.
The girls are underage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in order for you to set this up, what were some of the trouble moments you had to go through yourself, the crew, to be able to get some of these stories?
It wasn't really troubling. It's just a rural area where when they see new people around, you know, everyone wants to know what's happening or going on. This isn't a story that usually would grab so much attention. Let's say you're working on something around illegal mining where a lot of people, especially those who are involved in the act, would want to attack you. This was something that I had to do silently in the community and leave. But when I came to the capital, I went to the Dofsu to inform them about the situation, hoping to get response from them as well. They were kind enough to provide me with some of their officials. So we connected with the Chebi Police Command and then went to the community where they launched an investigation. They picked up the teacher, asked him some questions, and investigations are still ongoing as of now. And we are hoping that they will get to the end of the situation so that we get the results we are looking at. Unfortunately, we tried getting the Ghana Education Service to react to the story, but they haven't gotten back to me. But we are hoping that once the story is out and then people start to react to it, they would also want to add a voice to it to give it a more stronger, you know, feel or impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of comments already. This one is coming from engineer Samuel Chum, who says that Godwin is always a delight to watch, especially in his documentaries, in which he tries to bring some of the ills of our society to bear. Say happy birthday, belated though, to my daughter, who was 20 years some day or two ago. That's Lois Asamwachum. Belated happy birthday to you, coming from your father, Engineer Asamwachum. A couple more messages coming through. This one is coming from Dr. Juliet Yaira Tenge. It says, the subject matter of this documentary is exactly my field. My thesis was in emotional intelligence, leadership, and social and emotional learning, and bringing a change to society. And kudos to Godwin. I always enjoy his documentary. And say good morning to Na as well. And Sherry Giovanni, Samuel, good morning to you. You're celebrating your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Sherry Giovanni. You say, Sterling Innocence. First of all, I want to wish myself a happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday to you, Sherry Giovanni, regular watcher. We're grateful that you're loyal to us as well. As a professionally trained teacher, I will not support any of my colleagues to sexually assault young girls in their classes or schools. May the law work. The law is the law. You end that. I think I was saying the law is the law yesterday on social media. I don't know whether you picked some lines from there, but no problem at all. All right. And then also, okay, we have another caller, please.
Yes, we have a caller joining us. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Oh, this is Sani from Wali Wali.
Sani from Wali Wali, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Do you have a word for Godwin?
Yes, I just want to comment the investigative journalist. In fact, he's been doing very well trying to unravel some of these behaviors in our society. And the one that I can really remember is the documentary that he did between some Ghanaians who were caught between the Russian and Ukraine war, and then the suffering that they went through. In fact, that one also touched my heart so heavily. But with regard to this one, I think that me myself, I am a teacher. I want to appeal to my colleague teachers that we are not only supposed to impact knowledge on these children, but we are also, supposed to guide them. Okay, and then children, they tend to have that kind of trust in you as a teacher. So, and we've been children before. We always want to get, closer to teachers. So it doesn't mean that when they get closer to you, you must use that as an opportunity, to defile and spoil them. It's not the right thing at all. Yes, you see, the one that is heavily pregnant, you can see that if you look at her actions, she's the type who has been doing that in the house before. Because I don't see why somebody got you pregnant, the person refuses a responsibility, and then you give birth. Then within 6-7 months, you are having another pregnancy. For somebody.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you right there. A child cannot consent to sexual intercourse. You cannot say that she has consented a second time. You simply cannot say that because she's underage. But we appreciate your call regardless. We have to cross over now to Johnny. You cannot say that she has consented a second time. You simply cannot say that because she's underage. But we are now to Johnny. With John. Godwin Asedeba is premiering his newest documentary, Stolen Innocence, and we're hoping that this documentary brings attention to this canker of defilement and pregnancy in the name of the region again?
Achimasafo.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's look at last
yes.
comment. This is very emotional, and this one is coming from also Delight Delzy, who says also wish Joyce Mawo, who is my friend, a happy birthday.
That they comfort me, thou prepares the table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I'll dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. This is the 23rd Psalm. Let me pause and say thank you to all our friends and family across the world who pause to share our dictates and everything we do here with the rest of the world. We are happy, and we will entreat you to continue sharing the details with everybody else. Now, let's head straight to the Ramsa sites. Kunzo, play that video. The Ramsa site video, the regional minister, play that video.
The second phase of the demolition exercise picks up from where the first phase ended. The first building to be brought down was a 2-story structure nearing completion. Another multi-story building, also close to completion, was the next to go. In total, hundreds more buildings marked for demolition are expected to be pulled down in this phase. The second phase of the Sakumo Ramsa site demolition, we are told, may last for 7 days. At this point, it's very obvious that the current leadership at the Regional Security Council means business. A group of individuals claiming to be custodians of the land have challenged the authority of the regional minister and NADMO director, calling on the president to intervene.
It has been sold. It has been sold already. So what you have to do, you have to sit down, stakeholders meeting. Then we see how best we are going to resolve the issue than breaking the buildings.
In response, the National NADMO director dismissed their claims.
Some of these utterances are meant to divert attention so that the work we are here to do will be diverted from our focus and rather concentrate on arresting people, and probably that will stall the work. Our aim is to ensure that buildings that are put in this wetland are demolished.
He added that investigations are underway to identify and prosecute those who allegedly sold lands within the Ramsa enclave.
What we intend doing is that after the entire exercise, after we've demolished the entire structures, we are going to hire some equipment to come and take care of the place. And then we are going to reshape the entire place and then hand over the site to the forestry department to make sure that they green the entire place for us. So that
with hundreds more structures marked for demolition and some resistance coming from community members, authorities say they remain resolute in restoring the integrity of the Ramsa sites. Well, the coming few days will be crucial in determining how these demolition exercises will be carried out. Joseph Armstrong, Gold, TV3, Sakumo.
Now, I always pause to ask myself this question. As to the point where the people who claim to be custodians of these lands, and as you saw, somebody vociferously defending whatever it is, whether they paid attention to that signage and that agreement that was done in 1971, when Ramsa sites were created around the world. It is ignorance that is sheepishly leading some people to take that direction. What has become a Ramsa site must never ever become a residential engagement for people. No. So if people have decided on their own whether to sell it, whether to lease it, whether to do whatever it is not right. And I support the regional minister 100% fully. People put a spanner in the works for Henry Quarty. I spoke about it. People put a spanner in the works for Titus Glover. I put in a word for him. The same thing cannot happen to Linda Oklu. No. If you are looking for residential spaces to sell, go and find the absolute places, the right places to sell. Don't go and sell Ramsa sites. And I will be very disappointed in Linda Oklu if the Forestry Commission gentleman at the Sakumo Ramsa site, the first one where the people said that he is guilty of selling plots of land to them at the Ramsa site. If nothing happens to him, and if it is correct that he did something that is wrong, I will be so disappointed in the regional minister. I will. We must begin to do right with ourselves and by ourselves. We cannot continue in that direction. No. Ramsa sites, mangroves, all those things are being so. Why? What's wrong with us? And we have our leaders travel from here and they go to other places and they go and enjoy. They know what is right, but they don't bring that knowledge and that comfort home. Why? Why? I'm very angry about this Ramsa site conversation because we seem to be politicizing it, we seem to be commercializing it, and we seem to be playing tone deaf to it. It must not happen. Look, there's another matter that got me angry yesterday. The hostel issues. A father spoke to me, he said, look, I have 3 children in the university. 3 children in the university. This is the bill he sent to me. Approved hostel rates for 2025-2026 academic year, University of Ghana, Legon facility. National students, room type, location, facility. Look at how much is being charged. You enter some of those rooms, and we have been to some of those rooms. You enter some of those rooms, and you ask yourself, what's going on? You talk to the students, and they literally, I don't know how to explain it. Because you have been through this. The facilities themselves, the facilities that they have, right? And the quality of service that is being provided to the students, and how much is being charged to the students, or how much the students are being charged, is a problem. It is a private hostel in a public university. So what is the university's position on this private hostel? Not just this one. There are many other private hostels around those places. I'm not picking up. I'm saying that the parent sent this to me. And he said his BP has shot up because he has 3 children that he has to pay. 3 children. 3. So what does he do? And what will he do? And how will he do what he has to do? It's a basic conversation. Hostel fee includes utilities, water, ECG, standby plant, software management fee, JCR dues. Look at how much is being charged if you want to go to school and you want to be in a hostel. Because as a country, we have decided that we will be so lazy in our thinking and our forward march that our Legon Hall, our Aquafo Hall, our Commonwealth Hall, our Sabah Hall, our Kwapong Hall would not be enough to accommodate the students in the school. And I remember I mentioned this in 2020. I mentioned this, that we are busy grooming students from the SHS level, and we are not busy enough to plan for them when they are due to enter the university. I remember I spoke about it. We are busy saying, oh, we have the numbers, we access, we're busy talking about that. But we're not busy trying to raise the students and find them accommodation. Today, this is it. And I'm not picking on this hostel. There are many others. Many others. Many others. If you go to Lake, many others. They're taking advantage of the students. Go to KNUST, same. Go to UCC, same. Go to UDS, same. Go to Tech, same. Go, just run. It's not fair. It is not fair. No longer fair. And we are all encouraging it. Everybody is okay and happy with it, and everybody is encouraging it, and we are fueling it. They say, oh, old pens, new pens, new pen. Look at the money. Look at the amount of money. Look at the amount of money. 43,000, 40,000, 21,000, 10,000. Look at the amount of money. So how much is the school fees? The university school fees itself, how much is it? How much is the university school fees? How much is it? So then, if you are paying around 3,000, 4,000 for the education, the sense that is being put in your head, and where you have to lay your head is much more expensive than where you have to, how much sense is being put into your head. How do you reconcile the two? How do you do that? How do you do that? We are all sitting, everybody is watching. If the university authorities are not getting a portion of this money, I'm sure that they would have spoken up, but they are perhaps getting a portion of this money, so everybody is quiet. I'm saying that if the university authorities are not getting a portion of this money, they would have spoken up, because once you give your space to the people to come and build, operate, and, if you will, transfer in future, you are benefiting from it. Your students are suffering, and everybody is quiet. From the UCC to University of Ghana to KNUST to UDS, all of you. I'm just saying good morning to you. Just good morning. Let's leave there and go to the other matter. Now, I saw a release from the National Cathedral, and I've been wondering what President John Dramani Mahama has been doing since he got into office about this cathedral matter. Yesterday, I told you that it is not a national cathedral. Yesterday, I told you. It was President Akufo-Addo's personal pledge to his God that if you grant me success in this election, after failed attempts, I shall build for you a cathedral. How did that become a national burden? This is dated the 18th of July, 2025. It says the attention of the board of the National Cathedral has just been drawn to a press release, a press conference on the project by the Minister for Government Communications. 2. The board is reviewing the full content of the press conference and will respond accordingly. In the meantime, the board seeks to make the following immediate comments. 3. We note with concern that the press conference held is not a full disclosure because it focused mainly on the management letter and not the actual audit report for 2020 to 2023. This is rather strange. The press conference was skewed towards queries in the management letter, totally disregarding the detailed responses of the board. The queries and the responses form the content of the management letter, which was in the possession of the minister. 4. The board is disappointed to note that despite the ongoing investigations by state agencies such as the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the National Intelligence Bureau, the President has instructed the Attorney General to take steps to dissolve the board without any formal findings or wrongdoing. This is particularly troubling given that, acting on the President's directive, the board was actively engaged in discussions with the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs on the future of the project. 5. As a board, we took on the responsibility to lead the development of the National Cathedral with the firm conviction that this was a critical national infrastructure. Despite the challenges the project has faced, we remain committed to the vision of a national cathedral for the nation. Paul Opoku-Mensah is PhD holder for the board of the National Cathedral. Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, good morning to you. If you remember the detail that brought in this cathedral, it was not a national cathedral. It was not. If you will be fair to yourself and if you will be honest enough with yourself, it was not a national cathedral. The videos are Kuzo, go back to the video from yesterday. Let's play the video. Let's remind Doctor that this was President Akufo-Addo's personal pledge to God. And all the men and women of God who were part of it sat and watched and looked on as this perfidy was perpetrated on the Ghanaian people. All of you were part of it. You teach us in your churches to be honest. You preach the gospel for us to be honest, for us to do right. And all of you sat and watched one man deceive the whole nation to the point where we even spent monies that were not approved of by Parliament. Play the video.
Christian in politics, who's unashamed of asserting my Christian faith as part of my political calling. It is this faith and this belief in God's power to transform difficult situations into beacons of hope that has animated my vision for me moving Ghana to a situation beyond aid and putting the country onto the road of self-reliance, sustained progress, and prosperity. Our march to a brighter future is underpinned by our firm attachment to a governance system that respects individual human rights and individual liberties, the rule of law, and the principles of democratic accountability. This faith is also the motivation for one of the major projects, which I have described as the priority of priorities, that we're undertaking in the country.
On 3FM.
This
Best in the morning.
is the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana, which first brought us to this venue 3 years ago in February 2019. The National Cathedral addresses a missing link in our nation's architecture by providing a formal space for the religious activities of the state. Designed by the iconic global Ghanaian architect, David Adjaye, who designed the National Museum of African American History and Culture here in Washington, D.C. The National Cathedral provides an interdenominational space for worship and will serve to insert God at the center of our nation-building efforts. We've integrated a Bible museum and biblical garden as part of the project. Dubbed the Bible Museum of Africa and Biblical Gardens of Africa, they extend the National Cathedral project, which will transform Ghana, over 70% of whose population are self-proclaimed Christians.
And I start Sunrise on 3FM, the best in the morning.
Cathedral no de kwen bia so ebesi. Kwen bia so ebesi. The see ansa na jemi work on no. Uchinyaka. Me dem aso Yakopon ehira mu nyira.
The priority of all priorities for President Akufo-Addo, by his own words, is the National Cathedral. And I say, all the men of God, I want to look you in the face and tell you that all of you failed all of us Ghanaians. You don't believe in the sermons you preach. Some of the men of God who were part of it found sense and wisdom and they left. Most of you stayed on. No, today I'm speaking truth to power. You stayed on. You stayed on. Wasted our money. Now we are talking about $100 million, almost $100 million. Dug hole. Somebody was telling me the other time that he doesn't believe that David Adjaye would have gotten how much money we paid him ever in his career. Somebody said it. Somebody said it. Somebody mentioned it somewhere. Why do we treat ourselves like that when we know that there are children in this country who need classrooms, who need desks, who need food to eat? Why did we punish ourselves like that? Why? And we are talking in the name of God. Kuzo, stop misbehaving. And we are talking in the name of God. We are talking in the name of God. It's a very serious matter I'm raising this morning. I know that there will be people who will come and say, Osofo teaches us to go on the right path. When Osofo goes on the wrong path, we, the people and children of God, have a right to tell Osofo to come back on the right path. Did you read Archbishop Dag Heward-Mills's epistle before they left with Papa? Please, what's Professor Aweje was pastor's name? It's Tudanaba. Archbishop is Tudanaba. Look, did you read what they wrote before they left? Did you ever read what they wrote before they left? Did you ever pause to read what they wrote before they left? Why did the others not follow? Why did the others not follow? I'm asking a simple question. It was never a national cathedral. It was a personal pledge to God. And anybody's personal pledge to his God must not become a national burden. Here ends my sermon. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Odewale.
Oh, by His grace, I'm fine.
You are a pastor.
In fact, let me just say good morning to
In a while for some of their followers, as well as their communities and stakeholders to be part of Cash Out *439#. Fantastic people so far. Well, as we do that, please, we'll be having the discussions. Very important for you also to be cashing out throughout the period. Some great loyal viewers have joined us, as I always do right here. Please make sure that we also acknowledge ourselves, because we are also persons, as we say in local parlance. So we'll be having some interesting discussions so far. The Auditor General has now published, especially when you go to the website of the Auditor General, a number of audit reports from the 2024 financial year. And I tell you that it doesn't look good. It hasn't been looking good for a couple of years now. And now it looks like we need to keep our finances in check. We'll take you through some of the statistics and the numbers. But this morning, among the various MMDAs, as well as the MDAs, as we call it, as well as the SOEs, that will be state enterprises or corporations, we have focus being put on by big issues on TV3NewDay on the energy sector. And we're told that, well, we have in excess irregularities in excess of some 15 billion. And I don't, topping, in this sector, ministry. And indeed, if you go around, you'll find what the problems are. And so please make sure that you join us. But before we take you through the numbers, let me just acknowledge many of you who have joined us on the stream. Please share the stream. Let's have some great time. Yamo from the UK, you've joined us. Money also, many of you. I see Lebanon, Osei, Che, Boating, you've joined us as well. Please, good morning to you. Prince Daniel York, regular. Obrim Ponkaba, great guy. Sherry Giovanni is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday to you, Sammy. Agongo Roger, Akasokri Joseph, Majid, Mensa Majid from the Bono area, and then Daniel Akpaliok also has joined. Please share the stream. Let's have some fun. Sammy Bachman, Frank, good morning to you. For all those who tend to join us, please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations thereof. Let's see what you think. Samuel Inti Orchery also is there. Please make sure you share the stream. Let's have some great conversations thereof. But we'll be joined by our great guests on the stream. We'll be joined by Nana Moesi, Executive Director, Institute for Energy Security, as well as a consultant in the sector as well. So we'll have some great conversations to have this morning. And, well, let me just introduce to you our guest for the morning. I have seated close to me, Theophilus, no, not yet. How are you? Solomon. Solomon Owusu is the president of the Common Sense family of Ghana, also with the Movement for Change. More importantly, is also a businessman in his own right. And so, good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland. Good morning, Roland. You're looking great this morning.
Thank you. I'm representing the northern part of Ghana, particularly all the chieftains of Dakbong.
That's right.
And I'm in my Dapila.
Oh.
Yeah, this one also sponsored by many people, including Johnny Hughes as well. So they introduced me to it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
that's beautiful.
And then also in smoke, trying to rhyme with me as well, is Jebuntie Zato. Dr. Zato, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Roland?
I was watching your TikTok account, and I said, you started campaign very early, but it's good.
The funny thing is, I'm not actually I've never been there myself. I don't know about that.
How is your family? Because your children were all there, so. But it means I'm driving traffic. I hope you're well.
You're driving traffic. Honestly,
you're deliberately trying to make me drive traffic.
No, you are driving traffic. I don't know.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Mischief detected.
No. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland. Good morning, Roland.
All right. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning, Roland.
Great.
Nice to be back.
All right.
Can I just, is that something about your smoke?
We'll be joined. I say your smoke.
My smoke.
I'm not wearing smoke.
Somebody gave it to me. A friend of mine called Mohammed Suleiman Major from Tamale. Oh. He actually gave it to me as a gift. He says he watches this program all the time. Oh. So Mohammed, I hope you are watching, and I think I've rocked this smoke. Yeah, today it looks like I'm looking sharper than all of you like combined. So I'm just saying the smoke really fits me. I look good.
Yes.
La ilaha illallah. There's no other God except Allah.
Amen.
And, for all those who are watching, Delzy says the sister is celebrating the birthday. Please join us as well. We have Miss Godol Ma again. Let me just get it right so that I don't. But it will take you through what they are. So Joyce Godol, you're celebrating your birthday, and Delzy Delight says the happy birthday to you. Asamwachum, your daughter, as well as your son, celebrated the birthday as well. That's Mark Asamwachum. But let's take you through what the figures are. Not looking good. From the Auditor General, overall irregularities, and these are unaccounted for expenditures from various entities within the public sector. Could be MMDAs,
Hello. Good morning, boss.
could be MDAs, state enterprises, etc. Irregularities. All right. They increased by 109%. We always hover around 10 billion, 9 billion, 8 billion, 12 billion. Well, now, from the last time, 2023, 18 billion. 10 billion in excess, close to. Now, we want to focus right here on the energy sector as well, have some discussions. I believe that, all the things you complain about, the 1 cedi on each liter, because we need to make sure that we close the gap. But more so, as Solomon will tell you, we need to punish those who have flouted regulations. 15 billion for the energy sector under declaration of revenue and the collections in excess 2.9 billion. Very scary. And these are the details as you have them. Now, those that are collected, those that are declared, that also gives you a quantum of where we are currently. And then the ECJ particularly failed to disburse collected revenue to state enterprises within the chain, and then also IPPs, 1.29 billion. They have the cash waterfall system and all that. Now, tax obligations by way of the default to GRA, 70.9 million. Unpaid invoices to Bui Power Authority, growing, 729 million since 2020. And here we are. So, but the thing is about these irregularities. 8 billion jumping to 18 billion, and we think it's just a normal thing, or it's not. Now, we have some, so for example, GMPC entered into a loan agreement on behalf of the Ministry of Finance with no formal documentation. At least that's what the Auditor General found out. Because after the auditing is done at the first phase, then queries are made for management to come and answer, or respective sub-departments or subsidiaries of the entities to come and answer those queries. And if you've been in management before, answerable to such queries, heading a department or an entity, you will know how it is. And the auditors, when you appear before them, they are so nice. You think you're speaking to your spouse or your girlfriend or something. They don't admonish you when you're answering your queries. But the devil is in the detail, and that's in their report. The things they say about you in their report, you'll be surprised. Because they also failed to secure title deeds for some $6.3 million property worth as acquired in timber. And they continue to publish oil and gas reserve reports without external validation, raising questions about data reliability. And when your data is not reliable, particularly when we have investors coming from the international community, then they begin to doubt whether your data is solvent, reliable, or as it is. Charlie. Your flaws. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Lawyer.
An engineer.
An engineer.
Yes.
Yeah. They say you, the learned people, you are the cause of our problems. The engineers, as the journalists, the lecturers, and particularly the businessmen, all of us colluding to rip the public purse. And we keep finding that incrementally the irregularities are being recorded, unaccounted for. Now 18 billion. Overall, what do you say to that? Lawyer Theophil.
Let me do it the way maybe Dr. Zato did it by acknowledging the one who gave me the...
You too,
yes.
you have...
Yes, I had...
a
this
gift
was,
of smoke?
Yes, it was given to me by a fine lecturer from Ho Technical University, Imeta Akapo. Thank you, Imeta, for giving me...
Copy no good.
Yes, this nice... they just copied everything at this their last Congress. So, copy good, best in class. You follow that. Then, you know, last week we lost a colleague, Malik Mahama, who died Thursday and was buried according to Islamic tradition on Friday at Bali. So my condolences to UK and Ireland family of NDC. And of course, my good people of Hohwe constituency. Good morning. I think the root cause of what we are about to discuss is indiscipline and the lack of political will to punish.
The lack of political will to punish.
To punish.
Why do you think that is?
I think this has been ongoing for a long time. And at the last Auditor General tried to surcharge and fight this and get some people punished. And invariably, the system fought against him and got him removed, and he couldn't go after the people. But I believe that with the good work His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing with the reset agenda, I think that they will chase these ones and they will get people punished. And as you said, if you have ever been in management, unaccounted for, why should it be unaccounted for? Someone signed for the money. Someone took the money. If the expenditure is unaccounted for, then we trace where the expenditure went. And if we are able to trace where the expenditure had gone to, then we should be able to trace who signed for the money and who took the money. So this is purely unacceptable. You see, I don't think it's for any bad reason why the framers of the Constitution made it that Public Accounts Committee is chaired by somebody in opposition. It is actually supposed to hold, if I'll put it, the accountable those in government. But over the years, it appears that this has not been happening. If we want to plug the holes, the 18 billion you've called, we may not have gone to IMF. If we have swept the 18 billion Ghana cedis and convert that even at today's rate, we don't need to go to IMF. So I am of the firm belief that with the reset agenda that we have, this will be cleared. At least a huge chunk of it will be cleared. It is not the duty of just the lawyers, the engineers who milk the country. Give work to an ordinary worker, mason, carpenter, and you see sometimes how they want to fleece you out of it. It is all of us, our consciousness. We need to make it a point that the discipline must be in everything we spend. If it belongs to the state, let us recover it.
And critically, you find that when it comes to the public purse and its depletion, we always blame the politicians, right? But that's not true, just not following through the processes. How do we make sure we get everything accounted for?
Thank you very much, Roland. You know, I have personally done a lot of work on SOEs. I have published a lot.
In which area? Is it risk?
Good governance, SOE governance, SOE reforms. Like literally, my whole PhD thesis was on reform and governance of SOE. So I've published a lot of academic articles on that. I've studied that area very well. The thing is that traditionally, SOEs have what we call this dual personality and responsibility. They are commercial, value for money obligations, and then they are social, political obligations. So they are in this dual position where it's always difficult for you to see which one to prioritize first. In Ghana, we seem to be prioritizing mostly their commercial, their political, social, and cultural objectives. We use them as what I call nation-building tools, nation-building objectives, just like the original intent by Kwame Nkrumah. If you sit and look at SOEs, when they were first being created, both by the colonial government, it was just for the effective and efficient exploitation of Ghana's natural resources. That was what the colonial government did. When Kwame Nkrumah took over, he tried to use them as nation-building tools. So that is why you realize that all over the country, he placed SOEs in strategic sectors to make sure that they both represented the nation and they were all good for nation building. Since that time, we have exploited them, we have misused them, we have abused them. Whenever government or Ghana is going through IMF, check the statistics. The SOA sectors is almost always one of the parts leading. Whenever this country is declaring bankrupt or almost declaring bankrupt, almost all of it comes down to SOE sectors. And sometimes because of the way we structure SSE governance and stuff. So I'm not surprised at this. We have come when former Auditor General Domin Lovo was around, he came with such charges, he tried to bring more discipline to it. The current Auditor General has done similar things that do it, but this is persists. It persists because of two main things. One, the public and everybody don't care about bureaucratic corruption. If you are a bureaucrat, if you're a public servant, no matter how much you steal, no matter how corrupt you are, people don't give a damn. People don't care about that.
Then what do they care about?
They care when the corruption or the stealing is by a politician. Because there's political capital to be made. Because people cannot say, oh, look at this MP, look at this minister, look at this thing. So, but the moment you are, because it's actually built into the culture of public servants to steal in Ghana. So that's why you're like, oh, you've been working in government for this number of years, what have you got? You've been working in government for this year, you don't even have a house. You've been working in government for, you don't even have a land to build a house. You've been working for government and you are still poor. As if you are supposed to be rich because you're working for government. Even it happens today. Sometimes, look, I remember there was once I helped somebody to get recruitment into one of the services. And now the person's telling you where he wants to be posted to. Because this place, he can get a job. Literally, that was it. You see somebody looking for national service. He wants to go to a place where he can get a job.
Like which areas have you been told? So that I'll take a cue.
No. You won't take a cue. No. I'm just saying that we've all seen it. The point I'm trying to make is that this idea of people trying to, it's baked into the cake that if you're in the public service, if you're in the police, if you're a teacher, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, that you can, and we really come to glorify by saying everybody chops at his workplace. So when we do these things, we are glorifying it. And that is why you've seen that the SOEs become kind of like a black hole, whereby almost all our losses, when there's a change of government, everybody's rushing there. That is where we are employing all the people. Everybody people go and sit down there. That becomes it. The second thing, the second reason why this happens is because of the way we govern them. There are still chief executives now, or MDs now, who are appointed by this current government in January, in February, who are working, but they don't have board of directors. There's still a lot of them without board of directors. Meanwhile, the CEO, the MD, the chief, he's working. But almost all the decisions they have to be made has to be approved by their board. The normal thing is that the boards are those who actually appoint the CEOs. The board is supposed to be like that. But now the CEO, so by the time you are a board chairman coming, the guy has been there for 6 months, 7 months. Before he's just going to put a lot of things on your table to sign. So and that is the kind of mismanagement that we are mismanaging our SOEs. And it happens all over. So you go like at your post there and say, oh, it's like, so whenever you hear any CEO, any MD say he's acting, it means that his or her board is not ready. But people are working. They're starting going to. So by the time you come in, you know, and especially if the MD or the chief director chief executive officer is a powerful party person. If it's a huge party, then what can you do? And then thirdly, we are hesitant to then expose the politicians because it's in our government. We are hesitant to do that because that's like, you know, exposing yourself.
Okay, so let me ask you a critical. Are you saying that the composition of MPP and this movement for change and all the other political parties who have some of the finest brains, irrespective of whether they fall under the remit of being key members or appointees from whether it's MPP or NDC in government or movement for change, if one day they come to power, cannot work professionally? Because there are some, for example, Iwadako, when he was at was a boss and tour, managing those two, was able to turn out a profit by 2016, and that should have been followed subsequently as well. So we've had some good people who have been able to manage some of the SOEs. So
thank you. Agreed. Then sometimes it takes somebody who has enough political power and backing, and who can also stand. The third force I didn't mention was labor. Labor in this SOE sectors. Labor Day has become so powerful that sometimes you can change MDs, change CEO is the same. That labor also feels that the more they understand something. Labor has also become very powerful in the SOE sector. They know that they can easily make you, the board chairman, unpopular. And the moment you're unpopular, you'll be fired. They can make you the chief executive, the managing director, unpopular. The moment you're unpopular, you'll be fired. So labor too has become complicit. I'm talking about him. Politicians are complicit. labor is complicit, and then the public sector is complicit in the SOE sector. When you put these factors together, it then explains why, again and again, if you can talk about the tours, you can talk about everything. Recently, the president was talking about how do you sell alcohol and make a loss. You had all this I'm saying is that if you take these three critical factors, they all affect how this state-owned press are governed, they affect how they are managed, and they affect how almost all the time they become the people that are dragging us to the IMF.
I see. So look, the political office holders, the political establishment, clearly they should take some responsibility, right?
They should take all the responsibility. Don't go and blame any civil servant. There is a reason why it's a politician that appoints. Who bears the ultimate responsibility? You have been put there as a managing director. What are you managing? You are supposed to manage assets and liabilities. You are supposed to ensure that our resources, our revenues are not leaked like the way we are told by the Auditor General that is happening at the electricity company of Ghana. We cannot justify anything there. If there are workers there, if there are employees there misbehaving, it is your duty as the managing director together with your board to fire that person. Increasing returns, 2023, 8 billion, 2024, 18 billion. Are we okay?
You should take responsibilities.
Yeah, so the MDs must act, and they are not acting. Look, the report is so damning that when I read it, I said, what is happening here? That an entity like the Electricity Company of Ghana, they go through Goro Boys, middlemen. And that alone, we lost 251 million. And you think it's just, they don't know their left from right? You strongly believe that the MDs or the board of directors over there do not know that going to the source, which is a basic principle in business, that go to the sun would reduce the amount of money that will be expended because they are all enjoying from it. You are in this country when the former managing director, Mama Dubi, came to tell us that he has resigned for personal reasons. He didn't tell us anything. All of a sudden, someone that went and lobbied for a position says, oh, all of a sudden, I'm not interested. And we took it like that. We were there when the board chair came to tell us that, look, I'm not interested anymore. I've resigned on personal reasons. And these are their works. And you want us to sit aloof? Look, three things happened under the previous administration that must never happen in our...
And they should be held culpable and responsible.
Look, the issue of sole sourcing was so common under the previous administration. The issue of paying or payment to entities without contract. What is the Attorney General saying? We gave Ajay in the matter of National Cathedral. You remember the president himself paid Ajay when there was no contract.
Well, he's a reputed...
Who is that reputed? I was sitting, my roommate was an architect in tech. What drawing? I even Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Burj Khalifa, you know, the tallest building. It costed no more than $2 million for the architect. Did he draw human being that could walk? We pay nonsense and therefore chop people go back and take it and we embellish it. In this report, we are told that hotel was paid a whooping amount of 75 million cedis without any contract. And you want me to take it serious? And people are not talking. Look, we must call the ECG and have a public deba. The public must be angry because we have become the recipient. There are inefficiencies. At the end of the day, we go and pay for it. Do you understand? Look, GMPC, you go and buy a property without a title deed. Which government institution would do that? You go and commit $6.3 million, and you think they don't have sense? If they were the ones going to buy property with their own money, would they have bought a property without a document? It doesn't happen. So on what basis did they establish that the very property that they were buying belonged to the actual person that they were buying from? Yet they committed money to it. They go and guarantee for the Ministry of Finance. Bust. When you have an electronic procurement system that would enable people not to defraud the state, they decided to put that electronic system out and went manual because of chop. You understand? So some of these things, Roland, we cannot take it on the lighter note. You go and call, before this audited report, the PricewaterhouseCoopers had done an audit of the ECG. They told us that they were collecting 15 billion, declaring 10 billion, and even with the 10 billion, they were making available to the cash waterfall mechanism only 6.5 billion cedis. So, well, the rest of the money, where have they kept it? We are in this country that we give money to SML.
What the...
SML.
It's under investigation.
Which one is under investigation? Anybody that has ended up at Insawam started as an investigation. The political class must act. You have been given the power to act. The people in this country are suffering too much.
You think they're not biting hard enough?
You are doing scratch my back, let me scratch your back. What sort of business is this? They come and do this, and then they go away. They get away with it. You get my point. Now we are told that MPA also 280 million. Why? This country, we don't respect money or what? And so, I believe the people of this country must begin to caution, to push the government to do what is right.
So, Solo, yes, at the end of the day, why is it that something that is done by individuals who are appointed into public office, be it by the same president or appointing authority, should be blamed on the president and the entire government? Individuals should be held to account.
Yes, I mean, but
why are you saying ultimate culpability or responsibility?
Because the managers have to take they are the ones who are supposed to act in our stead. I cannot be taking decisions for the managing director of ECG. He is there to act in the best interest of the people of this country. And we are not doing that. You collect so much, you decide not to even pay We Power Authority. Look at how much We Power Authority has supplied to $729 million, and you have not paid anything to them. How do you expect them to continue to be in business? And the political class will sit down aloof and not say anything. The last time we heard the former board chair, I think tell the whole country that I know a lot of connection that's happening at the ECG, but they don't do anything about it. So it has become a standing order of the day that people go there, they see it as a milking cow, they cash in on it, they make so much. At the end of the day, the Auditor General report will say that, oh, so much has been stolen. Now the auditor is saying that 15.6 million is recoverable. I don't know how we are going to recover it. If indeed 15.6 billion is recoverable, then why are we in the IMF? They should just go and recover this one. Let's go and pay IMF the balance and deal with our situations here. They will speak like this, but at the end of the day, nothing will be recovered.
They'll do nothing?
No, there is nothing that's going to be recovered.
We've come to the point where, at the end of the day, we have to talk about punishment and as well as serving as examples some level of deterrent. Lawyer, where do we move from here, apart from the appointment, the Public Accounts Committee, where they just come and rehash the normal things? There's the talk about the search that had been undertaken by Daniel Domolevo before the current Auditor General, and still people are not punished for anything.
Yes, in my introduction, I indicated that the system fought Domolevo, where he wanted to surcharge and get some of these monies. Roland, if you pay attention to some of the figures, they're staggering. For example, that's about 85 to 86% of the losses from ECG alone. And they defaulted even on their tax obligation by 70.9 million Ghana cedis. That would not happen to any private enterprise. Never. No organization or company will be allowed to default for 70.9 million Ghana. No. But who were the members of the board of directors?
Absolutely.
One of them currently is our minority leader. Minority leader.
What has he done to you?
He's done nothing to me, but he was the chair of the board for ECG. He was, and what are the duties of the board members? They are responsible for the day-to-day running of the affairs of the organization. So, and they paid, as Solo said, they had procurement through intermediaries to the tune of 251 million. Come on. We cannot allow that to... Look, I want to assure you here, except His Excellency will prove me wrong, I think he wants to leave a legacy. Look at his appointees. A lot of them are very cautious in what they do. And you think that with oral and all that he has put in place, he will allow such a colossal sum of money to go? No.
Well, lawyer, it's early days yet, is that not it?
No.
They've not even crossed a half-year period when it comes to...
That is why you will be unfair to them to whip them too much. But I believe that, for example, how can you pay Hoptel 75 million Ghana cedis without contract? That will not happen. But you see, Solo said we should be angry. The anger of the people was shown when they voted the last government out. That is a form of anger. So I believe that if NDC would like to maintain the goodwill that they enjoy up to now, they need to act on some of these things. And I'm of the firm view that there is no way the president will look at this and say, come on, let us rob somebody's back and allow this to go. This will not go unpunished. There will be recoveries, etc. Remember, there's already oral, which is really working, and there are a few things going on. So,
oral?
Yes.
The complaint is that's too slow.
No. You see, you want to... One of the reasons why a lot of the cases from the Akufo-Addo regime, the dummy prosecution, stayed until this time was that not a lot of background work was done before rushing to court. So it was becoming difficult to secure convictions. Is that what we want to do? Rush people to court and leave it that way? No, that's not what we need to do. You need to do thorough work and make sure that your evidence and what you want to present before the court is tight so that you secure conviction. So definitely, we cannot allow such a huge, colossal sum of money to go unpunished and unretrieved. Some will be retrieved.
So how do we retrieve them?
Yes.
Not just by word of mouth, like you're reiterating.
No, it's not just by... We know where the people are. We know who were the MDs. Beyond this was the PDS, which is also embedded somewhere, which we are going to come back to. We know where the people are. We know who are the ministers. We know who are the board of directors. We know who are the board members. We know who are the MDs. And we know who are the people who signed the procurement agreements. So we cannot just allow them to walk by and say, I've worked with ECG, I was the board chair, and we have put in place some mechanisms and we have solved some of the problems. When the real report is saying that a lot of money was lost. So the way it's going to be done, this will be referred to the AG, and the AG will take it up from there.
So at the end of the day, we have to make sure that as a country and a governance structure, we punish those who have to be held responsible, irrespective of which political party and the regime under which they performed or underperformed or commit acts or omissions. What do you say to that?
Agreed. But I'm really scandalized that he will sit here and talk about oral and retrieval after this letter by the Attorney General or Deputy yesterday. This is not retrieval.
Which letter
this is not the one talking about clearing the
Relax.
There is no more oral. There is oral. Operation clear all loot.
Okay.
How do you say that somebody who has done this thing, you Attorney General, you say you are trying to hold people as for loot? You are trying to say that people who have stolen money, we hold them for loot. Meanwhile, you are clearing people who are standing trial. Meanwhile, you are telling people that if you steal money, take 60%, give us and keep 40%. That is what I'm talking about. How can you say I'm talking about oral? It's oral operation what? Clear all loot. These are people who you...
Yes,
Doctor.
Please bring him some water.
No. You can't sit here and be talking about oral now. No, every NDC member should bow your head in shame and not talk about oral again because it's now oral. It's operation clear all loot. How can you sit down and say that? Are you not ashamed to say that? No, seriously. How do you say that?
Please don't interrupt.
How do you say no? How do you say that?
Dr. Jebunti Zato.
No. It's the same thing. You are talking about Attorney General. Deal with oral and now you are doing oral.
Put his mic off for me. Okay, put his mic off for me, please, all of you. So we're having a very civil conversation. And the mic work in such a way that it is not high or decibel sounds by way of the talking that is regulated. Actually, when you're monitoring the audio monitor, you are pitching. Okay. So please. Your position is that what? The Attorney General is enclosed to do this, isn't it?
I'm not agreeing that.
Okay.
Yes. You are, on the one hand, you promise oral to retrieve all loot.
Okay.
That was the campaign promise. You came. One of the first things you do, establish a committee to retrieve all loot. The committee has presented with you. You are prepared a prosecution to retrieve all loot. At the same time, you are prosecuting somebody who looted the state. You are prosecuting somebody who, and now all of a sudden you relate and tell the person, yeah, I know you've looted the state. There's no, you have not established your innocence in law. By the way, keep 60, give us 60% of what you are alleged to have stolen. Keep 40% and go home. Does that sound like retrieve all loot to you? Does that sound like, how scary is that? Does that sound like it will scare current people from doing that? Does that sound like it will scare managers of state-owned enterprise from do that? Does that sound like it will scare people to do that? At the same time, this is the same Attorney General who is prosecuting the National Signals guy for stealing how much? Will the Attorney General make the same deal to that guy? Will you tell that guy, no matter how much you've stolen, give us 60%, keep 40%? Will he give that deal to him?
So your position is that the path on which the Attorney General has undertaken, where he files nolle prosequi on ongoing cases, doesn't add to the argument.
It's not only it's this particular case.
This very particular
No, you want to understand something.
You're talking about Unibank.
Yes, I've heard people say that when it came to the ambulance at 247 cases, the legal basis was shaky. I've heard lawyers say that. And that's some of the cases, the legal basis was kind of shaky. But nobody has said that about this Popular Default case. Nobody has said that the legal basis is shaky. Nobody has said that. You are, this is the guy, and in fact, the guy is in court. You are in court prosecuting the case. And then you come out and say, give us 60% of whatever it is. So if the man was alleged to have stolen 10 million, give us 6 million. The 4 million, keep it. Go home free. That is your, and is that operation recover? Does that sound to you like recover all loot? Remember, it's operation recover all loot, not some loot. It's like operation recover all loot, not 60% of the loot. But you have done that. That's what I'm saying. And now I'm asking myself some question. Mustafa Hamid was charged. The signals that Kwabna Buahin was charged. Wuntumi is being charged. Will you give them these sweetheart deals? Will the Attorney General tell them, or they tell them, look, whatever you are alleged to have stolen, keep 60%, give us 60%, keep 40%. Will he give them so deals? This is not justice. This is Mickey Mouse justice. This is not justice. This is Tom and Jerry justice. This is not justice. This is Animal Farm justice. You don't do this as Attorney General and believe that I think that you are bringing confidence to the judicial system. Come on. Somebody should give us a break.
Okay. So give me a summary of all that you are saying.
The summary is that the actions and inactions of this Attorney General is based purely on partisan favoritism. If you are our friend...
What's that got to do with discussing matters of public interest in which the Auditor General establishes clearly that in excess, some 10-point-something billion hasn't been accounted for? Irregularities in making those accounts.
Thank you. We said that. Just opposed it with the public accounts.
And this is from 2023 to 2024. What's your point?
People are not scared enough to waste public money. People didn't know that if they are powerful enough, if they are connected enough, they can waste these resources and they will get a knowledgeable prosecutor. That's what I'm saying. We should have used these processes to put fear into public servants, and to put fear into politicians.
But there were prosecutions that were undertaken by the Ekufuado Baumia.
Exactly. Agree.
I have the NCA case, for example. There's even Atu Asian.
Thank you. Atu Asian is sitting in prison
the Bank
now.
of Ghana.
He's sitting in prison now with a similar thing about the bank cleaner. He has offered to pay, but the state, he's sitting in jail. Imagine Atu Asian were to read this letter from the Attorney General today. Imagine he was to read it. Imagine his lawyers were to read to realize that the man put money on the table, but he's still in jail. Meanwhile, you're telling these people, walk, give us only 60%. Imagine he reads it.
That cannot be true.
But that is true. He offered to pay money. Atu Asian offered to pay money.
In the Atu Asian case, he was asked to pay the money. He was not able to pay fully the money. He paid 30 million.
Good. But the idea then becomes the same. You are now introducing a new idea. Look at all the knowledge prosecutors presented. Look at all the people presented knowledge prosecutors. They are all members of the NDC or associate members of the NDC. So it's like saying that once you are a member of the NDC, one of your friends, you get a walkout of jail-free card.
Who said that?
That is what the knowledge prosecutors have been. I'm telling you, all the knowledge prosecutors presented so far, all of them. They have been about NDC members or former NDC appointees. All of them go home free. But now we are the people in court. The Sky Train thing is the IPP guys. The Signals thing is IPP guys. Shemanguntu is IPP guy. Mustafa Hamid. You are prosecuting. My point is that how are you on the one hand you are trying to recover loot, and then on the left hand you are trying to what? Clear all loot. How do you do that among yourselves?
But okay, he was former. Now he's president.
Yes.
You remember the Jida case?
Yes. Yes.
So we had Abu Gapele jailed, yes. A number of individuals jailed as well.
Yes.
So you also have that in the current regime. There's even an investigation that has been ordered by the Attorney General.
Yes.
To Iyoko to investigate
Amin and Abanga, which I agree is a positive development.
Okay. So my question then is, can that be said that a tool like knowledge prosecutor are being administered or undertaken or used by the Attorney General defeats the whole purpose and rationale to be able to prosecute your own?
So, first of all...
As a deterrent for financial irregularity.
First of all, the Attorney General has the power to, as it were, use the knowledge prosecutor. But I have a difficulty with what the Attorney General has done. I mean, especially when he's not under any compulsion to explain the reasons for the knowledge prosecutor. So if you go ahead to give us explanations, then we are entitled to question the various explanations that have been given. I thought that if there is anybody who has done a damning job to do false credibility, is the letter that has been issued by the Attorney General.
Okay.
Because the statement issued by the Attorney General clearly says that you are paid 60%. Are you with me? What 60%? You didn't tell us. How much does that 60% constitute? Now, the same statement also says that this does not exonerate him of any wrongdoing. So you admit that there has been a wrongdoing. So if there is any wrongdoing, why then must the state suffer Why then must the state rather go in for 60% and not 100% plus an interest? It's a difficulty. And I believe that the Attorney General shouldn't have done this. If indeed you wanted to say null prosequa, you are not mandated by any, but once this is your explanation, then going forward, I believe that any null prosequa that any Attorney General issues, they have to give us an explanation. Sometimes the explanations might be weak.
Okay.
You understand?
So that's where your problem
and has a cascading effect. So, for instance, we know that the National Service, scandal. We are talking about 548 million Ghana cedis. By this principle, are you going to tell me that we are only going to take 60% of 548 million? What sort of life is this? Hey, people must be serious. We didn't come here to play.
So you're saying what's good for the goose?
Look, I'm telling you, every penny that has been stolen from this state must be returned. It is not for them.
How about we put this in context?
Yes.
In that there was a banking crisis that happened.
Yes.
And it's also because if you comprehensively review the Boulders reports that was undertaken from 2016 and all that, and then the things that needed to be done by the Bank of Ghana to ensure that those who were at the helm of affairs, whether they're shareholders, they were directors of those banks, being the assigned reasons for which some of those banks went into administration, etc., had really, looking at the powers that they had and then the authority they had, abused them. As a result of that, the government at the time said depositors' funds, etc., were at risk. Of course, there's Frankie Du who says that that decision, even though was one option, the other option of punishing those shareholders and the directors was better. So that you,
Rolla,
if you put that into context.
Yes, one of the reasons I had problem with the MPP, particularly with Nana Akufo-Addo, was my stance on this banking sector cleanup. I was on TV bastardizing them, because if you are a businessman,
and Dufo is captured in there.
Yes, I mean, I disagreed at the time that they were collapsing Unibank. No serious man would have done that, because you see, the reason why we pay taxes in the country to a government is that in times of difficulty, the government will go in and then resuscitate these businesses. The essence is that at the end of the day, every year, government will prepare budgets. What's budget? Budget is expected revenue and expected expenditure. Now, the revenue side will be coming from businesses like Unibank. So if you expect money to be coming from Unibank and other banks that will collapse, and they were in difficulty, it is incumbent upon the government of the day to make sure that they survived. And mind you, Unibank and all those banks that were collapsed, they were not the only banks that were in the same situation. Look, Prudential, nobody could have convinced me that Prudential wasn't in a terrible situation than Unibank. How come Unibank got collapsed? So in other breath, yes, you have committed, but we realized that you were our political opponent. That was the principle I disagreed then. That if you believe that the shareholders and management have done something that is so untoward, deal with them. But let the bank and the company survive.
And the brand.
And the brand. But they decided to do otherwise, and at the end of the day, we are told that they used more than twice the amount that we needed to, as it were, stabilize the banking sector to do this business. And then where did it go?
25 billion.
25 billion, and then you had
9 billion.
9 billion problems. So who would do that? In the case of Indum, yes, he was also in the same category. But then he claims that people have come for loans, contractors, and utilize the money to do government business, and you were not paying them. So how do you then go and collapse such banks? If they had done anything untoward, it was incumbent upon the administration to go after the individuals and let the business survive. That was my position. And I received so much flack from MPP people that, why am I not...
As an MPP member, you were speaking against your government?
I was speaking, because you see...
You started your stubbornness not today.
I saw a lot of... In fact, Unibank had employed more MPP people than even the NDC. So if the target was due for, you were misfiring. The people that were going to be at the receiving end were mostly MPP people. And it is one of the reasons why they lost heavily. Unibank was collapsed somewhere 2018. Is that not the case? You know, by 2016, Nana Akufo-Addo won the elections with almost 1 million votes. Have you asked yourself how come the gap breaks immediately? Because the families that were affected by that bogus decision, I don't know those that sat there and thought that they were doing anything serious. I disagree with that. But beyond that, if you are going to court and you are prosecuted, the principle is that if you believe that you detected any wrongdoing, the amount of money involved, I am not in for incarceration anyway. When we send people to prison, we rather end up feeding them. But let them pay with a punitive interest and bar them from public service. So that it becomes enough deterrent for all of us. As it is, and I don't know, the statement also says that they agreed with a lot of institutions, state institutions. Who are those institutions? They must come clean and clear. And let them convince us on what basis they came to that determination that when you pay 60%, that must suffice. Nobody's going to take that.
So you're saying that in principle, collapsing the banks the way they did, it was not the best.
They shouldn't have even thought of it.
In trying to exonerate or file nolle prosequi for the prosecution of whether they are directors or shareholders, the modus operandi is not.
It's absolutely wrong. It's absolutely wrong. You have to come back again. They must immediately revise this position. Either than that, we are going to open the Pandora's box. Now, what people will say is, let me go and steal. When I steal, after all, there is a standing agreement that you pay 60% of it and you get away with it. I'm not convinced with this statement. I think it's totally needless. It defeats the essence of Operation Recover All Loot. But let me assure them that we were sitting on somewhere and they brought this Operation Recover All Loot. We will make sure that the ORA works. It will work.
You the political stakeholders.
Absolutely, because it's our tax revenue. This morning, I haven't said anything. You gave me water this morning. I've already paid tax through you. So nobody must sit anywhere and think that he can do anything anyhow.
Okay. Theophilus, at the end of the day, the question is being asked of the Attorney General. Using nolle prosequi is not the way to go.
Let me go along these tangents. Please, my colleague here, I think, if not for anything, for the viewers.
It's called Dr. Jabunti.
Dr. Zato, yes.
Zato.
Let's show respect. You don't have to shout to make your point. You don't have to. It's a bit disrespectful to us and to the viewers. Just do it. You can see the way he talks. Everybody listens to him. You don't have to shout.
No, me, I'm a quiet person, naturally.
Everybody listening will still hear you.
I like the way you are not picking on the operation.
Please, when you were talking, I was quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet.
All right, gentlemen.
Please be quiet.
Please make your point. Make your point. Let's go quickly.
My point is that he was very contradictory when he said Atoesian.
I don't understand.
Atoesian tried to pay and he was refused. And Atoesian is in prison. So in effect, we lost, assuming what he has said is true, in effect, we lost everything. But that is even not the truth, because Atoesian tried to pay, he was asked to pay, and he didn't get the money. Number two, you remember that Tofosen, Jakpa, and ambulance case? We had a situation where the ambulance manufacturer said, we are going to pay you back. Out of our intransigence, we said, no. Until Atofosen pleads guilty, we will not accept the money. Now, the court upheld that they don't have any question.
The one the Attorney General was caught on tape? That one?
Yes, the one Attorney General was caught on tape. Now, the case went in favor of the Minister for Finance, and we lost everything. We didn't get a penny. Now, you see, before you go on to prosecute, there are a few things you need to look at. You must look at public interest. You must look at the ability to secure conviction. My brother here said that the banking sector spent more than what we were trying to get out of the banking sector cleanup. We put in more good money and got very little money. Now, the letter that the AG has published, it says that they have made it a point that in cases such as this, they will make sure they recover at least 60%. They didn't say in everything, bring us 60% and go. They said before we begin to negotiate with you, you must meet the threshold of at least 60%. Let us educate the people properly. Let's not just say that.
Okay, give me education. So you are saying that, in effect, by filing nolle prosequi, he's saying instead of going through the route of prosecution,
for which we may not even secure conviction,
then
let's get this, which the people have offered, and take on. Because remember,
is it Triton law?
No. Yes, he has.
Is it well grounded?
He has the discretion to go in for. Even in the US, they have non-conviction based asset recovery. So you can negotiate with them. And I can give you the example of Andrew Agassi. When he did the negotiation, after a while they realized that he hid some of the property and he came out, they went for the property. So we can have non-conviction. And he said that instead of sending people to prison and you still feed them, we don't get anything. They stay in jail maybe 10 years and they come back and they use their asset. What do we gain? By recovering some of the things. So it is not Operation Clear All Loot. Again, let us put this into context. This prosecution started prior to the current Attorney General coming into office. He could have come in and said that, I've reviewed all the evidence, and it looks like we may not secure conviction. Let us go and take
but that should be reasons in his...
Let me tell you, let's hold our fire. The AG will be addressing the press next week. Let's hold our fire. The Attorney General is not just basing their
information on just one sheet of paper.
Are you saying this for a fact?
I am saying
it
for a fact. I'm saying it for a fact.
Okay.
The AG will be addressing the press.
Like you for address this for me.
Yes.
There's a certain consensus, at least the first time I've seen this between Dr. Jemutie Zato and Solomon, that for everything to be used as an example, you don't create the wrong impressions, which is that the actions that have been undertaken is, whether it's from the last or now, that if you commit acts or omissions under one regime, when there's a change in the status quo for this current regime, the next one, based on the individuals involved, could clear you, so to speak. Attorney General filing and all the prosecutor. And so it's a wrong precedence.
No. How would you explain to someone a prosecution that has taken 6 to 7 years and still in court, for which reason you were not able to secure conviction? How would you explain to someone? If this were done in another jurisdiction, they would have asked, assuming we're using private prosecutors, how much would have cost the state by prosecuting such a thing? If you had all this in place, you would have gone ahead. Look, let's not shy away from this. Some of the prosecutions were politically motivated. Some of them were politically motivated. I'll give you an example.
Like what?
The Opuni trial.
Oh, yes.
The judge who said, let's start the trial de novo, was shipped immediately to Kumasi.
Opuni?
Yes. Justice Anoche
was shipped?
Was shipped immediately.
Transferred?
Whichever word you want to use, go and look for the meaning of ship. He was shipped immediately to, give me the word, to Kumasi. Now he's been promoted to Court of Appeal. Yes, he's a Court of Appeal judge. I saw it in the news. Now, some of those prosecutions were political. They were not going to secure conviction, and it was not in the public interest to secure conviction in those things. So how can you say a trial that will last for over 6 years? When did the banking sector cleanup start? 2017 or 2019, and we are still in court. And you stand here today to tell us that let us continue. You pay the AG staff, you pay the witnesses, etc. to continue. No, it is not in the public interest. So if the AG is saying, even let me put this on record, even in plea bargain, you don't get everything. There is no way in the world that you go and negotiate and you get everything 100%, or there's no way in the world, even the FBI and all their prosecution, they don't secure conviction all the time. So if the AG sees that, hey, in my wisdom, let us get what we can get. We have established that cases such as this, let's get 60%, and we are getting 60%. And if we get 60%, let us go. Remember, he said that they have done it in collaboration with other agencies. Solo was asking, maybe the OSP, maybe the Economic Crime Unit, etc. They have done that, and they say, let us take 60%, minimum 60%. They are not saying they have taken 60%. They say minimum. It could be 80%. Let's wait. Let the AG give us further information. But this particular one is better than the Atofosin one, where we lost everything. And including the fact that Atofosin has been exonerated and is performing well as a finance minister. So they don't have any right to come and tell us that Operation Clear All Loot. Come on, let them wait. It is the very reason why we established the Operation Recover All Loot. I don't want to go into other things. Come on.
Okay, so putting this in context will mean that, well, if we had a banking crisis, which the arguments have been by key connoisseurs in the industry, who had started their businesses, grown their own banks by way of the banks to the states, where maybe you go by what the sections are in Act 612, had flouted key decision-making regulations. You don't collapse them, etc. Perhaps that puts into perspective, because we have individuals like, apart from Frank Edu, Prince Kofi Amwabeng, who has clearly criticized. We have some Jonah who also criticizes as well. And there are key, even academics, who have said that perhaps the route that was used by government was not the best. And so if we have directors, we also have shareholders flouting regulations. You rather punish them and not the institutions in themselves. Then perhaps the AG's decision should be well accepted. Not categorizing the way you are doing.
Thank you very much. I accept that. It's okay. It's normal to criticize a public policy. The decision to close the bank was a public policy. And everybody that criticizes it, it's okay. They are right. It's normal and it's okay. Because that is why it's called public policy. It's not a private policy. To criticize it is okay. And I respect the views of all those who criticize, those who personally suffered or those who suffered by extension. But I reiterate my point that based on this letter from the Attorney General, we have moved away from Operation Recover All Loot to Operation Clear All Loot. And I stand by that point. Look, the gentleman, he was talking about time, that it took 7 years. In this letter, the Attorney General never mentioned time. He didn't say the reason why I'm doing this is because of how long.
But the period of the prosecution, Dr. Jemuntie, is public knowledge.
I agree.
The first bank, UT Bank, was collapsed in 2017.
Yes, I agree. But I'm saying that time as a factor in making this decision was not included in this letter. The Attorney General never said that. I've also taken into consideration the length of the time. We agree he has the power not to even tell us why he's taking this decision. But he has. And now we have to feed on what he has said. So one, time was not a factor in this. Secondly, I'm talking about deterrence. How do you see this and get deterred? How do you see this and then you realize that, oh my God, don't let me steal. Don't let me be corrupt. How does this letter deter you? Secondly, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that all those who have received knowledge prosecutors happens to be NDC members, former NDC members or NDC appointees, and all those that are still standing trial now, Adu Bohin, Wuntumi, Mustafa Hamid, are all MPP members. Is it a coincidence? Can you look at this and say, oh, is this a coincidence that the Attorney General is freeing all these people? On the other hand, the same Attorney General is prosecuting all these people.
So do you think that then it's a coincidence that Prince Kofi Amoabing also stood trial, the GN Bank, as well as Group Indum, they are in court?
Yes.
And then also the man himself, of course, he's a politically exposed person, has been a BOG governor appointed by the president, and then, of course, the finance minister, as well as we had the NCA trials, also a coincidence as well.
No, they're not coincidence.
Because those trials took place under an MPP regime.
Agreed.
We can even trace it back to Chacho Chikata.
Thank you. No,
and subsequently,
with the banking crisis, we
it's
all
only
agree
under the Mills government that we're told.
In the banking sector, we all agree that something went wrong. We all agree. The question is, so there are different cases. In the banking sector, we all agree that there was something wrong. The question we disagree on is how to deal with it. So there are two different things. So in all these cases, that's what I'm saying, is public policy. What you decide to do as a politician, can be subjected to any form of criticism. I respect that. So we said, yes, something was wrong. Now you say that the way somebody could say, like someone said, that maybe the way to do it is not to prosecute. That's a fair criticism. Another person will say the way to do it is to prosecute. That's another fair criticism. I respect those criticisms. And I'm saying that, yes, we can do that. But specifically, I'm not saying that. How can you, on the one hand, now be saying that we are recovering the loot? We are recovering it. And everybody is clapping for you. Everybody says, because me,
do you agree that oral is public policy?
Agreed.
And decisions have to be made by individuals who are responsible?
Agreed.
So how do you clarify one by way of the decision-making to either prosecute or recover, etc., to be public policy under the MPP regime? And this time, this one is not public policy.
I'm not saying it's not public policy. And I'm saying that precisely because it's public policy now, we can criticize it too. So we criticized it back then, we can criticize it here too. And I'm not saying that. What it shows is that, what this then shows is that you are weaponizing the knowledge prosecute. You are politicizing and weaponizing knowledge prosecute against your political or perceived political opponents. That's the conclusion I'm making, because it says things that it's not a coincidence. Look, on the one hand, I wanted to see this and go. The power to do a knowledge prosecute in this country, we are abusing and misusing it. It is becoming politically weaponized against people. And when you do that, I want to see, look, all these people that have been sent to court, I wanted to see a ruling. I wanted to see it determined by a court of competent jurisdiction. Because when you begin to pick and choose, it means that you are not saying that, I like you, Solomon, you will go to the full prosecution. I don't like you, Roland, I will give you a knowledge prosecute. Shouldn't those decisions be allowed to be made by the court, especially if your avowed political or policy objective was to recover all loot? And I ask a simple question. Today, if Edu Boahin, the Sentinel guys, will we give him this deal? Will we give Chairman Wuntumi this deal? Will we give Mustafa Hamid this deal? Or is it because they are political exposed, we will not give them? How do you justify giving some people who are politically exposed a knowledge prosecutor go home, and this guy, how do you say, only give us 60% or minimum 60%, but you still go home with something? We've not talked about profits. The guy says that their properties, we've not talked about how much the properties have appreciated. We've not talked about no profit not at all. And of how much. And how did you arrive at this decision? Did the man appeal? Did he write to you asking for a null prosecutor? I'm saying that when you begin to look at all this, then you then realize that this is politics. This is the justice system that has been what? Highly partisan, highly political. This system that has been weaponized, and the almost objective is to punish people who do not believe in you and your speeches. And when you do that, the confidence in the justice system takes a big hit. When you do that, people begin to ask, but how? So today I'm asking myself, how do you go about getting a null prosecutor? How do you go about getting a null prosecutor? Is it that the state likes you and they give you, or is it the state doesn't like you? But let's look at it. It says something here. Number 5, the decision, however, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing nor a vindication of any conduct. It is a pragmatic step in line with the overarching national interest of recovering state resources. I get it. Who defines the national interest? Oh, that's another thing. Mostly, policymakers define national interest and national objectives. So the president defines national interest. His cabinet defines what is national interest. What is? So this is what we are not told, that recovering this money is national interest. Then again, it goes to so, but prosecuting that people to fall is also national interest. You see, those two contradictory statements then allow you to realize.
How are they contradictory?
So on the one hand, you said that taking this money from this guy and let him go is in the national interest. Okay. But prosecuting this person to the full and jailing him is also in the national interest. All right. So you get to pick and choose who we like, and then coincidentally, they are all people.
So for you, the Dufour matter should even transcend 10 years. You don't mind?
What I'm saying is that let the court decide, so that all other people come in knowing that your innocence or your guilt is in the hands of a judge. So we should go let the court no matter how. And see, somebody makes a point today. What happens is that the so-called rich people, they can afford all the best lawyers in this country. They can have the best defense, and this now letting cases travel across regimes has now become a very powerful legal strategy. Somebody should teach it at the law school. To tell defense lawyers that whatever you do, delay, hoping that if a new attorney general, a new government comes, they will give you a null prosecutor. We shouldn't let people game the system. That is called gaming the system. When people begin to game the system, then they go, okay, look, now I'm in trial. Let me delay, do whatever, hoping that in 2028, if President Muhammad leaves and a new guy comes, he may give me a null prosecutor. That is gaming the system.
Okay, so my next question is going to be posed to you, Solo, on making sure that we delineate the narrative in such a way that we clearly will have to establish which prosecutions are targeted at political opponents based on the individuals herein involved, other than just normal trials, irrespective of the acts or omissions they might have committed. How do we posit that in the proper context?
I mean, we have to let the laws work, the laws of the land work, irrespective of.
Because you just mentioned Opuni and all that. You were shaking your head.
No, but Opuni's case, he have a problem with that too. You know, in the case of Opuni, Seydou Agongo, in the case of Atoforsin, there was no reason. They had no business being in court. At least the case traveled a while, and we have discussed this matter here. How can you go in the case of Atoforsin? You are talking about LC, and if you know how LCs operate, if our Attorney General was that leaded.
When the Attorney General doesn't know what is an LC.
I mean, what was it? I mean, it was the most useless case to have ever been in court. So in such instances, you don't let it travel to the floor. Mind you, at the end of the day, if the state loses, it comes with a cost. So if you want to be smart, you just have to curtail it. In the case of Opuni, judges were even being transferred here and there. And I said, why is it that this cocoa board, why are they shading people? The very chemical, the very fertilizers, the very products that got Opuni into troubles, who in the previous administration sold those products again to the cocoa board at a very high price. Why are they not speaking? They scratch my back, let me scratch your back. They sit there, people have committed, they have committed heinous crimes against this country. Nobody wants to mention their names. This political class, I'm telling you, they have to be very, very careful. It is not business as usual. They must be serious. That Opuni was prosecuted because a certain chemical had not been approved by what? The scientists. Meanwhile, the same products, MPP came, and one of their own was giving the same products to sell times 3 of the price that they were selling. Now we will get there, because I will have time and do a comprehensive press conference on this matter. I'm only giving them the benefit of doubt to come out or before I come out. You are not there to be shading people. You are there to be protecting our money. Look, the only reason why I have a difficulty with this, Dr. Dufo, if the Attorney General had ended at the null prosecutor without explaining anything, I don't have a problem. After all, he has been given that power.
You have the statement there.
I have the statement.
Go to the fifth point. Because
so in the fifth point, that
it says, unfortunately, the burden of proof to grant conviction is beyond reasonable doubt, and he, Attorney General, cannot guarantee that.
But the fifth point, read the fifth point again.
I've read it. I've just read an extract for you.
What's your point? So the point here is that whereas the Attorney General was saying that this does not vindicate or any wrongdoing, then why would you say that you have detected wrongdoing yet they should pay less? That is my point. But beyond that, there is no doubt that if a case will not succeed, you don't have to proceed, as I've been discussing.
Do you think that the extent at which some of these cases have, in fact, this man is still in court, Prince Kofi Amon, he's granted it?
No, I mean, such cases, if the Attorney General believes that they don't have, they just have to, as it were, file for prosecutor.
So that's what he's done.
No, that's why I say that if he had not explained himself, now he has given us better and further particulars as to why the null prosecutor has been filed. But in so doing, they themselves, the Attorney General comes to tell us that this does not vindicate them of any wrongdoing. And you know the issues that we went to court with? Conspiracy, to ask his choir, fraudulently defraud this country, thievery, stealing, all these things that you are talking about. So which of them are you saying that it does not vindicate them? That's why I say that this press release has rather damaged Dufo. So I don't believe that they should have done this to him.
So the Attorney General, you are saying, and I believe that Zato says you should come out with further and better particulars.
Absolutely. But I understand.
How would you describe the explanation in the statement?
Oh, it's nothing to write home about. I'm not interested.
All right, we'll move on and
quickly. Let me rebut one or two, please. Just a minute to do for me.
So I wanted to do 10 minutes of tomorrow. Tomorrow is the mid-year budget, so I wanted to take a look at your own assessment of the economy.
Just a quick one. I'm wondering whether null prosecutor is new under the current administration. It is not new. And even when they were doing the NCA trial and some of these trials, Dami made even the forcing trial, there was no prosecutor for one or two.
The second accused.
The second accused, yes. Then I also want to help my brother here that Mustafa Hamid, like that, is not being charged by the Attorney General. The OSP has a different route when he wants to enter a null prosecutor, and the OSP is entitled to give us reasons, to give the court reasons why, so he should wait. And much more, all the cases he has mentioned are new cases. They are just, nothing stops them from going to negotiate with the Attorney General. But then, there was also the Kwesi case. That that the Attorney General didn't enter null prosecutor. That went on to the conclusion. So, for him to say the null prosecutor appears to be only NDC functionary, Kwesi is the currently nominated Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister. So, for him to say that is not really the truth. So, I just want us to get this correct.
Yeah. We want us to get right. It's not for rebuttal, Dr. Jebuntie Zato. Now, let me read a couple of comments. Then I'll spend 10 minutes on the economy. Tomorrow, the Finance Minister, Dr. Kisiel Latuforsen, will be giving us a media review of the budget. All of us will be very attentive. We'll be bringing to you a live coverage prelude to that address in Parliament. So let me have, this one is coming from an auditor, Andy. Andy, good morning to you. He says that, very instructive. Everyone that has endorsed up at Nsawam started with, everyone that ended up at Nsawam started with an investigation. I cannot agree less, with Solo. We are not angry enough. Why must we be made to pay for deliberate negligence of internal control measures of state enterprises? And then says, tell Dr. Zato that the time difference is not the same, and he's comparing apples with oranges. When did the perceived MP name he mentioned case comment? Okay, all right. Just trying to edit some of them as well so that we're all okay. This one is coming from Musa, who said, if Edu Boahin, Mustafa Hamid and others are being chased to bring back what they are led to have taken from the state, how does Dr. Zato say it's an operation clear all loot? Have these persons been cleared? I think Dr. Zato is not being truthful. All right. Now, okay, so this one also is coming from Oseye J, who says that clearly Dr. Zato is right. You can see that key individuals who were being prosecuted under the Akufo-Addo government were close to the NDC government. But then his argument says that we should let the trial run its course so that they know who is guilty or not, then also secure a conviction. But if nolle prosequa is filed by the Attorney General, it presupposes the trial has not ended, but then he is exonerating others through what he has been asked to do. I'm listening to you and the nolle prosequa, our lawyers, that's coming from, good morning to you, Lawyer Stella. I won't mention the full name, very scary these days. And then Justice, good morning to you, my lord. Please, okay, so I have this one from one of our lawyers. He says, just by way of education, please tell Dr. Zato that the plea bargaining, or that plea bargaining is a right open to anyone charged with a crime involving money. Taking advantage of it doesn't mean you are set free. It has conditions attached to it. Refund of all or part of the monies involved. It is a discretion. Nolle prosequa is a right reserved for the state all over the world, not peculiar only to Ghana. Again, they are getting it wrong. 60% isn't all. It's a condition. If you refund 60%, then they can agree with your request to plea bargain. It's just a condition precedent. It's not like it's over and the 40% has gone free. So 60% is a precondition. Minimum. Thank you very yes.
Minimum, yeah.
All right. I have this one from Seth. Seth, good morning to you. Please tell Dr. Zato to slow down. He should not shout. Oh, but I'm only hearing the shouting in the studio. Money, I've seen yours as well. And then this one is coming from Lawyer. Lawyer, how are you? Okay. Lawyer says, Ato was given a plea bargain. He couldn't pay. That's the difference. Don't mention my name. I haven't mentioned your name, Lawyer. Everybody is afraid, oh. Now, let's come to the economy. I'll start with you. What's your own assessment so far? No, let me start with you. Okay. The economy so far. What's your own assessment? What are your expectations for tomorrow? I mean, just in 3 minutes, because we don't have much of a
My expectation for tomorrow is the gains that have been achieved will be stabilized and they will be maintained and more improvements will come in. I am aware that a number of abandoned projects will be completed. I'm aware that the reserves we have in the Bank of Ghana will increase. I'm aware that the dollar CD will be stable. Those are my expectations. And I'm aware that the good work being done by the Minister for Finance, some of those roads, the big push and the 24-hour economy will be properly addressed. I'm also aware that currently they cannot just adjust the VAT quickly because there is in place a committee to look at the overall tax system that we have. Because Ghana has both the VAT and the tax, sales tax. All those will be corrected. But the bigger part is that prices of certain goods and services are coming down. We pray that going forward, certain goods and services to the prices will come down for the ordinary Ghanaian to feel the stability of the economy in their pockets. Beyond that, what else do we expect the minister to give us? The minister has promised us that the import cover that we have will also be increased. So for me, the 6 months that this government had been in office, they've stabilized the economy, they've stabilized the dollar CD exchange rate and the CD exchange rate against major currencies, and certain goods and services are stable and prices are coming down. That will continue. All right. Dr. Yebunte Zato, your own assessment so far, is it 6 months of the running of the economy or 5 months by Dr. Kessie Lato-Force as well as the rest of the team?
Thank you.
Commendations or no commendations?
No commendations. There are some commendations. Of course, we can talk about the CD stabilizing against the dollar, even though the IMF is seriously warning us that we should stop what we are doing. But I don't know whether we'll listen. I hope that it doesn't lead us into a hole. I also like the fact that the gold board is doing very well. But we have a warning from Imani that most of that is being fueled by Galamsey. So we want to know whether we are running a Galamsey economy or whether that is, so we don't know how that is going to go. I'm happy with that. The government announced, how do you call that thing? The big push. It was supposed to start in June. We've not yet heard about the big push. So I hope tomorrow the finance minister will tell us when the big push is supposed to start and how it's supposed to start. We've also read about the, what's the name? The 24-hour economy. We've seen the policy now, but we were told that at least this budget or this review would tell us how to put in place, especially the 3-shift system, the system where one job, 3 people are doing it. There are a lot of unemployed youth that are waiting, they're hoping and praying that the 24-hour economy will give them the jobs that they needed, that require as to what they were campaigning for. So I'm praying, I'm cheering for the economy, I'm cheering for the finance minister, and I'm hoping that they do better. And I just hope that tomorrow, that whatever it becomes substantial, it puts money in people's pocket and people go back to work.
Okay. What's your own assessment, 0 to 10, of the management of the economy?
No, I'll give them 5. I'll give them 5.
Okay. That's average.
I'll give them 5. I've said I'll give 5.
5 over 10.
You know what? What I can do is that I can make it 7. Let me make it 7. Good. I'll give them 7.
7 over 10.
Because the dollar has stabilized, or relatively stabilized. Forget about whatever the IMF is saying, but it has stabilized. Gold prices are high. Inflation is coming down. I will give them 7. Let me give them 7, 70%. That's all. That's a B or a B plus.
You see, this lecturer, he can give you marks and change his mind, and then go and give other. That's what they have been doing to the students.
I don't understand. So you're saying he's not consistent?
Consistency is very key here.
You can't accuse him of that. Your own assessment.
My own assessment, I believe that there is an outstanding issue to be dealt with. Remember the COVID levy?
He said he would decouple it.
Decouple it. It is very important that he gives us an indication as to whether it will be indeed, it will happen.
No, it will happen. He said that the tax system is complex.
Yes.
So they don't just yank the COVID levy.
Absolutely.
But they will do all holistically.
I'll be very glad to see that because, you know, and also the compound calculation of that, which was introduced into the back end of Uriata, the man that has run away to the US. He gave us compound calculation and left us. We need to go back and separate it. It
doesn't work for businessmen.
It doesn't work. That is one of the reasons why prices of goods and services are very expensive. He said he was only introducing it for a year. It has become a perpetual feature in our financial management. There again, there are other programs and policies of this administration that we are looking forward that they will be able to achieve it. For instance, our road sector, they have to do something. Accra, Takrady Road, terrible. Accra, Kumasi, terrible. Accra, Ho, terrible. Accra. So they must find a space. And also there has to be a correlation between the inflation that we are experiencing today and the interest rate at our banks. We are doing inflation of about 11%, if my memory serves me right. So why must the interest rate or the policy rate be hovering around the 25 or 26?
What do you think needs to be done?
There has to be a collaborative work between the commercial banks and the Ministry of Finance as well as the Bank of Ghana so that we find out where the lapses are. Because in basic economics, there is always a correlation between inflation, interest rate, exchange rate. You understand? And so that is one of the... And then again, businesses are complaining about access to dollars. I believe that there is enough dollars in the system. But the Bank of Ghana, the national security, they are disappointing this country.
Why?
By now, a lot of commercial bank managers should have been arrested. Go to these Abochi people. Abochi people, what business do they do that they always have dollars?
So you're saying that you're asking the question, how do dollars end up on the street?
They give it to them. Every dollar that is advanced by the Bank of Ghana has serial numbers. If the national security was mindful enough, they could go to the Abochis and buy just a dollar and find out the serial number and go to the Bank of Ghana and cross-check which bank they gave that dollar to, for which reason the money has ended up in Abochis. They know it.
Simplicity.
Has it crossed your mind that most of these Abochi people, they are closer to banks? Has it crossed your mind? They give them the dollars to come and sell to it. They take their change. It's bad. People come from Nigeria, open border, Niger, Burkina, they come to this country and buy dollars and go. Which country would have such a terrible system? Governor, National Security, Ministry of Interior, sit up. Sit up, because it is so annoying that you see that they are not even Ghanaians. Foreigners, come and take. Why would this happen? Only in Ghana.
Okay.
To do circle and all those places. We know them.
Okay.
So they should act.
Before we wrap up, though, what would you be your 3 top things when it comes to the management of the economy you commend the government for?
Oh, I mean, the stability of the currency is so important, so crucial to because we are an import-driven economy. You get my point. I believe that incidents of corruption is also becoming something that is not a regular feature in maybe the next Auditor General's report may review something about that. Now, and there is a general sense of freedom, I think, in the system.
Freedom?
Yes. Nana Akufo-Addo was terrorizing the people of this country.
Come on. They were terrorizing?
He was terrorizing the people of this country with his policies and actions. There is general freedom in the system. No wonder there was the other time I met an NPP communicator. I said, oh, now you are looking handsome. I said,
He told you that?
Oh, I said, you have endorsed Mama. So during your time, I wasn't handsome. Nana Akufo-Addo was terrorizing me with his people. And nothing could be. So there's a general sense of that freedom. And I believe that it's that freedom that the Ghanaian must capitalize to develop this country. It's very important. For all of us and the unborn generation. And lest I forget issues of Galamsey, they must be up and running. Anybody
that's not part of the economy, though, but that's
it's part of the economy. You know, our expenditure on medicine, our budget to the Ministry of Health, is also dependent on the levels of Galamsey or the pollution of our water bodies. It is what shoots our Ministry of Health budget up. And so if they are able to tackle
for public health.
For public health, it's very, very important.
Last year there was a report by some medical practitioner who said if we had to do a recovery, it would take us some 300 years.
Millions of dollars, and we don't have
lands
it.
To even get back to normal.
We don't have it.
All right. Dr. Zato, that'll be all. I wanted to give it the last, but it's okay.
You give me something small to add to the
I wanted to give you, but
if you give him, then I'll take, because this man and his last, he will come and do some Who's analysis, and then you all go.
His analysis, Solomon.
And I think another thing the government needs to be commended for.
You said you wouldn't give me.
He hasn't given me. I'm stealing it. It's the payment.
It's allowed.
It's the payment of debt.
I thought the general will arrest you.
Okay.
I thought the general will arrest you.
Okay, let me and thank you. Over at some point, over 2,900 people were watching us on Facebook. We're grateful that you always tend to join us, but also alongside, it's also because we, through our producer, tend to assemble some great. I know that many of you tend to disagree with Dr. Zato on many fronts, but we have to be open to divergent views. It's very important for us to do as well. So apart from Dr. Zato, we've had Theophilus Jimagan of Hokwe constituency.
And I greet my Hokwe constituency folks.
When they do that, it means they want to contest. That's Sisala East.
You see, I haven't said anything.
Sisala East. So Sisala
I haven't said anything.
Sisala East.
You are extrapolating and bringing it to me.
Sisala East, then Hokwe constituency.
And then Asante Akem Bakwai.
No.
Okakwe South.
Who is the MP now? And this is to that place.
He sold chicken to come and take over the seat. He gave them chicken.
Who is that?
Kion.
Kion, yeah.
He distributed chicken and became an MP.
I've seen
you would distribute goods, right? You would distribute goods.
Okay, so let me just acknowledge a couple of you on our stream before we call it a morning. We have cash out. The ones we're saying this, we have cash out. It goes with a short code *439#. Let me say good morning to you, Kwejo Bona, great guy KB. Obrin Ponkaba is still watching. So make sure you choose option 2, increase the number of tickets you have. Let's become part of Cash Out this morning. And then I also see Lebanon. Lebanon was my coursemate. Lebanon, good morning to you at KNUST. Wishing you for the day as well. Abdullah Nasser Dean, good morning. I've seen your message as well. Henry Williams, Yabua George. And then also Regina AC, good morning to you as well. Kelvin Ni Ashong said he's going somewhere. I won't mention our competitors. And Michael Siglo, wishing all the best. Evangelists, Lemdi, I've seen you. Solomon Ayambo Kea, Nana Bright, Cecil Kwabna, Prince Nanea York says that we are watching how the oral is slow. By the end of 2025, if no action but talk by the NDC is done, then they must start handing over their notes. Agenda Butterfly will be...
Tell them,
and then Nana PC Apia Sechi, I've also seen you. Namiak Addison. And then Neo Dignia Tukwekwe, thank you for joining us as well. And then Richard Ando, Desmond, Prince, Keku, Yao Febri is also Kisnab is also there, and all of you. Please make sure you keep watching us as always. Tomorrow we're going to bring you a live coverage of the budget, the prelude to that. And a number of you say that you have people celebrating their birthday. That's why you keep watching. But let me say, Delight Delzy as well as Philippine, they say happy birthday to Joyce Godo. Good morning to you as well. Now, Asamoah Chum, Engineer Asamoah Chum says, Solomon is my man. Good morning to you. My son, Mark Asamoah Chum, is celebrating the birthday. Wish him well for me. I wish you happy birthday, Mark Adom Asamoah Chum. A couple of you have the Mama War of the Sogli States as well. But if you want to look smart and fashionable, visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Now, Woodin is offering amazing collection of authentic African fabrics, and beat your mind. Look, it's all ready to wear. And so they come in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. So with Woodin, you can get creative and versatile with your designs. Be confident and show off how truly African you are in Woodin. Go to a Woodin boutique near you today. Choose from your variety of trendy products to complement your unique style. Follow Woodin Fashion on Facebook, whether it's also TikTok or across social media. Good morning to you, Justice Senor Jamapa, great man. Wishing you all the best for the day. Woodin is saying, Woodin, the creator. We're taking a break. We'll be right back, bringing you the sports headlines next.
Every day, people have money emergencies.